the marketing and branding side of it, how do you get the business to look nice and shiny from the
Right.
outside so people actually want to buy your business?
Well, I kind of gave you a little
You
insight to
did.
that. I gave you a little secret, right? Which is the story. There's a story to tell. And you got to be able to tell that story to a buyer that is not only believable, but can be validated. And it starts with the financial statements. It has to be very confidential. Here's what's important about this whole process. Nowadays, the buyers want the confidentiality to be in trust as much as the sellers because the buyers don't want to create the day of a big sign that says new management, they're over, right? You're buying businesses because they're already succeeding or have some value. So you don't really necessarily need to tell anybody,
Yep.
I'm the new owner, what we do, right? Plus, it is important that the employees and staff are comfortable and you want to know and plan when to have that conversation with them, right? The other thing is, and we come back from break, let's talk about valuation because the valuation of the business is the foundation of the story and it answers your question, which is how and who I market to. This is probably those two things, valuation and how and who I market to, are probably the secret sauce to Joe Vagnone and why I am the top broker in North Carolina.
Perfect. Well, your valuation, how that goes into how you can market a business. So take it from there, please, Joe.
So this is probably my secret sauce as a small business broker. Please hear the word small business broker. I know I love the puffery of Joe's the man, Joe's the best, and I am 5 million or less, right? Let's make sure we're clear on the fact that I am talking about 5 million or less. I have created through the help of my wife. My wife is a phenomenal 35-year real estate controller. I can talk and she can make an Excel spreadsheet, just do anything I wanted to do. And she has created a couple of spectacular worksheets and programs that I use. And for the last 12, 14 years, I've been within 5% of the sale price of the businesses that I've sold. And so for that reason, I really feel good about the valuations that we do. And the valuations create what we call a buyer profile, fancy word for buyer motivation. Now, here's where it rolls right into the marketing. Once I discern the values, it's not a specific value for the business. I'm not going to tell you how much to sell your business for. I'm not going to tell you what to list it for. I'm only going to tell you what buyers think it's worth. That is the core to this. And so it becomes different buyer profiles are willing to pay different multiples or different values for your business. Those buyer profiles, for whatever the reason, they're owner operators or whatever that might be, that leads into who and how I'm going to market to them. Most small business brokers aren't sophisticated or experienced enough to be able to make that move. They don't know how to create what the buyer profiles are or the buyer motivation, and then they don't know how to go after them. So I can do that very specifically because I have a database of well over 16,000 small business owners and people inquiring on small businesses over the years. And these aren't large corporations. These are individuals like us looking for businesses. And so that process for me, we can do a search on what they've acquired on, how much money they have, and it naturally rolls into I'm going after the buyer profile of those buyers that have the maximum value for the business. So I love to say I can maximize the value of your business because one of the things I do specifically is focused on the buyer profile so that I can try and maximize the value. And so they go hand in hand. The valuation and the marketing are really two things that go hand in hand on that. And it is probably the core of what I do that makes me unique because you got to have the database, you got to have the information, you got to be able to do the search, and you got to be able to do the valuation, right? So these are things that are important. And when it's over with, you have what should be a roadmap on exactly who we're going after, why we're going after them, and the motivation that they have to be the buyer, which helps me with the negotiation.